Hello everyone, welcome to EDUHUNT video lecture series. I am Dr. Lata Krishna from Biology faculty. We have already covered in the previous session about various crop measures to be taken and also how to cultivate various crops, that is mixed cropping and intercropping, like that we have covered. And crop management, how to manage a crop. In that, today we cover crop protection management. Protection about what? Protection against diseases. Crop might face some challenges, like they may expose to various pests and various insects and various microorganisms. Whenever the pest or the insect or the microorganisms attack, in the primary level, the plant tries to face this, tries to struggle, and in due course it will adapt somewhere and sometime. It may get success during its struggle, or it may lose, or it may be defeated by the microorganism or the pest. So that is very, very important. For a plant to survive, it has to fight with the external agents like microorganisms and pest. Now we will see what is a pest. Pest is an organism. It causes great economic loss to the crop or the crop produce. దానివల్ల ఏం జరుగుతుందండి, ఒక క్రాప్కి ఒక పెస్ట్ కానీ ఆశించినట్టయితే గ్రేట్ లాస్ జరుగుతుంది. పెస్ట్ ఆశిస్తే ఏం జరుగుతుంది, క్రాప్ పర్ఫార్మెన్స్ విల్ బీ డిక్లైన్డ్, తగ్గిపోతుంది. లీవ్స్ మీద పెస్ట్ ఉంది, స్టెమ్ మీద పెస్ట్ ఉంది, రూట్ మీద పెస్ట్ ఉంది. సో whatever, whenever and wherever it could be, it causes severe loss. It is called pest, and there are different pests based on the mode of attack. And first type of pest, some attack types of pests or insects, chewing type of insects, mode of attack ni batti insects ni different types ga categorize chestam. One is chewing insects, and second sucking, and third borer insects. Pest, insect and microorganisms, and even fungi also attack the crop and damage the crop. ఇవన్నీ మనం చూద్దాము డ్యూ కోర్స్లో. అండ్ ఫస్ట్ లెట్ us see various pests, and there are different methods of controlling the different pests, like pesticides are being used or biocides are being used to kill those pests. అంటే పెస్ట్ని కంట్రోల్ చెయ్యాలి అంటే we must use a pesticide or a biocide. And if it is an insect, we use insecticide to destroy the insect. If the crop is exposed to a fungal attack, then we should use fungicide. That is, అంటే మన డిజీజ్ని బట్టి ట్రీట్మెంట్ అనేది ఉంటుంది. అలాగే మోడ్ ఆఫ్ అటాక్ అండ్ వాట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ organism is attacking the crop, it gives the way to treatment. అంటే మనం ఏ జబ్బు ఉంటే ఆ జబ్బుకి సంబంధించిన ట్రీట్మెంటే తీసుకోవాలి. ఇప్పుడు కిడ్నీ డిజీజ్ ఉందనుకోండి, హార్ట్కి సంబంధించిన ట్రీట్మెంట్ తీసుకుంటే ఏం లాభం? అలాగే ఇఫ్ అ క్రాప్ ఈజ్ ఎక్స్పోజ్ టు ఫంగస్, దెన్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు use fungicide to destroy fungus. If the crop is exposed to, if it is attacked by some pest, we should use pesticide. If it is exposed, if it has a problem with the insects, then we have to use insecticide. And examples, next, ఇవన్నీ కూడా external attacks that cause great loss to the farmer and great loss to the crop. And in second case, weeds also reduce the crop productivity, crop growth, crop production. All these things may be reduced because of weeds. Weeds are nothing but the plants which grow in the crop fields other than the cultivating crop. So example చూద్దాము. Sorghum called jover, it may be a common weed, and wild oat may be a common weed, and amaranthus viridis అంటే తోటకూర లాంటి మొక్కలు కూడా వీడ్స్ లాగా అక్కడక్కడ క్రాప్ ఫీల్డ్స్లో లెగుస్తూ ఉంటాయి. అండ్ Chenopodium album, and next one is Xanthium, and again Parthenium hysterophorus. అది చాలా deadly dangerous, and it causes some sort of irritation. ఈ pollen అది చాలా dangerous, Parthenium ది. Not only it acts as a weed, it also causes some irritation in human beings also. And Cyprinus rotundus called motha, also a weed. And these are all various weeds that compete with the crops. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఫర్టిలైజర్ వేసాము, వీడ్స్ తీసేసుకున్నాయి అనుకోండి, మేజర్ క్రాప్కి ఫర్టిలైజర్ సరిగా అందక గ్రోత్ తగ్గిపోతుంది. సో దీన్ని కంట్రోల్ చేయాలంటే వీ మస్ట్ రిమూవ్ ద వీడ్స్. అండ్ హౌ టు రిమూవ్ దీస్ వీడ్స్? దెర్ ఆర్ సెవరల్ మెథడ్స్ టు రిమూవ్ or to control weeds, and one is the process of removing weeds mechanically. We can use some means of some tools and remove the weeds. That is called removing weeds is known as weeding, and weeding is done by mechanical methods. As I said, using some tools, it may be mechanically removed, they may be, and culture methods and chemical control, some chemicals that cause the destruction of weeds, and biological control. These are the various methods of weed control. And then insect pest control. How to control an insect pest? Based on the mode of attack, as I mentioned in the previous talk, that based on the mode of attack, the pests may be categorized into chewing insects, sucking insects, and borer insects. Chewing insects are like they bite, they chew the leaves or stems, especially like caterpillars. They have different mouth parts. With the help of those mouth parts, they attack the stem or leaf, and even sometimes they may be attacked by the roots, may be attacked by the caterpillars or the grasshoppers, locusts, and grub. They have a special chewing type of mouth parts. With the help of those mouth parts, they attack the leaves. Especially మీరు caterpillars గనుక చూస్తే, they are voracious feeders. ఫాస్ట్గా ఒక క్రాప్ని ఫ్యూ అవర్స్ ఆర్ సమ్ ఫ్యూ డేస్లో మొత్తం స్మాష్ చేసి పారేస్తాయి, అంత ఒరేషియస్ ఫీడర్స్ అవి. సో ఈ లోకస్ట్ కానీ ఈవెన్ గ్రాస్ హోపర్స్ ఇవన్నీ కూడా లీవ్స్ని కొరికి తినేస్తాయి. వాటిని చూయింగ్ ఇన్సెక్ట్స్ అంటారు, కొరికి తినేవి. సో దే బైట్ అండ్ chew the leaves, stems, and even roots of the croplands. And second type of insects are sucking insects. These sucking insects, they suck the cell sap from the stem. Mostly the aerial parts get attacked by this kind of sucking insects. They have piercing and sucking type of mouth parts. ఎలా అయితే మస్కిటోస్లో సకింగ్ అండ్ పియర్సింగ్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ అంటే గుచ్చి పీల్చుతాయి, మస్కిటోస్ మన మీద ఎలా అయితే అటాక్ చేస్తాయో, ఇన్ ద సేమ్ వే సమ్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ aphids, leaf hoppers and plant bugs, they have piercing and sucking type of mouth parts, and they take up the cell sap from the plants using these mouth parts. Examples are aphids, leaf hoppers and also plant bugs. Borer insects, borer, మీరు కాటన్ బాల్ది కనుక చూస్తే ఆ బాల్ ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే సమ్ ఇన్సెక్ట్స్ లైక్ క్యాటర్పిల్లర్ లైక్ ఇన్సెక్ట్స్, దే మేక్ అ హోల్ ఇన్ ద కాటన్ బాల్ అండ్ దే ఇన్సర్ట్ ఇన్ టు దట్ బాల్ అండ్ they eat the entire thing that is there in the ball and make the ball empty. This is called borer insect. And borer insects like sugarcane borer, sugarcane loni, pot borers లో ఏం చేస్తాయంటే మొత్తం ఫ్రూట్ ఉంటుంది కదా, ఫ్రూట్ లోపల మొత్తం తినేసి ఎంటీగా చేసేస్తుంది పైనుండే ఆ లేయర్ని. అండ్ దెన్ cotton ball weevil, grain weevils etc. come into the category of borer insect types. These are the three different insects: chewing insects, sucking insects and borer insects. And all the insects have a special type of mouth parts depending on their mode of feeding. And some they eat like caterpillars, they have chewing type of mouth parts, and in some దే సక్ ద సాప్, అంటే సాలిడ్ మీద డిపెండ్ అయితే మౌత్ పార్ట్స్ లైక్ చూయింగ్, బైటింగ్ అండ్ చూయింగ్ టైప్ ఉన్నాయి. లిక్విడ్స్ లైక్ స్ట్రా వేసి పీల్చుకున్నట్టయితే అవి సకింగ్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ మౌత్ పార్ట్స్. పియర్సింగ్ అండ్ సకింగ్, దే ఇంజెక్ట్ దేర్ proboscis into the leaf or stem or any other part or branch, and they simply they suck the sap from the plant part. And then the last one is borer insects. They make a hole and drill a hole on the pod and get inserted into the pod and eat the entire thing inside the pod and make the pod empty. Like that in sugarcane borer also this kind of attack happens. And then methods of insect pest control. How to control these insect pests? And root cutting type of insects can be controlled by applying the insecticides to the soil, and then the stem and leaf cutting and boring type of insects ki foliar spray. మీరు చూసే ఉంటారు అన్నదాత ఇలాంటి ప్రోగ్రామ్స్లో అయితే దే వేర్ అ మాస్క్ అండ్ దే వేర్ some can like structure and spray the pesticide or insecticides on the crop. That is called a foliar spray. అంటే వాటర్లో ఈ మాలాథయోన్ అని లిండెన్ లాంటి ఇన్సెక్టిసైడ్స్ని వాటర్లో డిజాల్వ్ చేసి దీన్ని స్ప్రేగా యూస్ చేస్తారు. ఇఫ్ ద అటాక్ ఈజ్ ఆన్ స్టెమ్ అండ్ లీఫ్, ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈజ్ ఆన్ రూట్ then we should not use this kind of foliar sprays. The insecticide must directly be applied to the soil. And if sap మీద డిపెండ్ అయ్యే ఇన్సెక్ట్ లైక్ సకింగ్ ఇన్సెక్ట్స్ అయితే దే షుడ్ బి కంట్రోల్డ్ బై స్ప్రేయింగ్ సిస్టమిక్ ఇన్సెక్టిసైడ్స్ వాటి మీద స్ప్రే చేయడం వల్ల ఆ ఇన్సెక్ట్స్ అన్నీ కూడా చనిపోతాయి. So this is how we control the insects or pests. And second is, next is disease control. How to control diseases? మనమే ఉన్నాము, మనకి రాకుండా ఏం చేస్తాము? Prevention is better than cure అన్న. In the same way for plants also prevention is better than control. ప్రివెంట్ చేయాలి డిసీజ్ రాకుండా. ఇప్పుడు మస్కిటోస్, ఎస్పెషల్లీ దిస్ ఈజ్ అ రైనీ సీజన్, ఈ సీజన్లో మస్కిటోస్ స్ప్రెడ్ వాస్ట్, స్పీడ్, దే స్ప్రెడ్ ఫాస్ట్ ఫాస్ట్గా స్ప్రెడ్ అవుతాయి కాబట్టి వేర్ దే స్ప్రెడ్ ఇన్ ద స్టాగ్నేట్ వాటర్. దానికోసం మనం ఏం చేయాలి, స్టాగ్నేట్ వాటర్ లేకుండా చూసుకుంటాం. దట్ ఈస్ ప్రివెంటింగ్ మస్కిటో బ్రీడింగ్ సెంటర్స్. అల్టిమేట్లీ ద మస్కిటో పాపులేషన్ విల్ గెట్ రెడ్యూస్డ్. మస్కిటోస్ లేవు అంటే ఆర్ ఎక్స్పోజర్ టు మస్కిటోస్ విల్ ఆల్సో బి డిక్రీస్డ్. ఇన్ ద సేమ్ వే మనము డిసీజ్ని కంట్రోల్ ఎలా చేస్తాము, ప్లాంట్స్లో అయితే ఎలా చేస్తాము. A wide variety of plant pathogens attack the plants and cause various diseases like fungus, virus and even bacteria, and some kind of nematodes and even protozoans also attack the plants and cause great economic losses to the crop. And pest infect and causes serious diseases in our crops, and the diseases caused by the pathogens include blast of rice, paddy blast, అగ్గి తెగులు అని అంటాము. అలాగే రస్ట్ ఇన్ వీట్, రాట్ ఆఫ్ షుగర్ కేన్, రెడ్ రాట్ ఆఫ్ షుగర్ కేన్. మీరు షుగర్ కేన్ సెంటర్స్ లైక్ షుగర్ కేన్ జ్యూస్ సెంటర్స్లో చూస్తే సమ్ టైమ్స్ వీ మే ఫైండ్ ఇఫ్ వీ మేక్ అ స్లిట్ ఆన్ ద షుగర్ కేన్ set, then we find some red streaks in the middle of the sugar cane set. These streaks are the resultants of fungal attack called a disease named red rot of sugarcane caused by a pathogen Colletotrichum falcatum. It's a fungal disease, and based on the mode of transmission, plant diseases are of different types. Based on mode of transmission, how they are transmitted from one crop to another, one plant to another. Sometimes the disease may be spread through soil, so it is called soil-borne disease. Soil-borne diseases, the disease, that is the pathogen, spreads via soil. That means the pathogen stays inside the soil. If the soil is not clear, if the soil is not clean, then the pathogen spreads, and through the roots the pathogen attacks the plant, the healthy plant. That is called soil-borne disease. And then seed-borne disease, the pathogen spreads through seed material. Example is loose smut of wheat and leaf spot of rice are the seed-borne diseases where the seeds carry the pathogen. Soil-borne diseases, soils are infected by these pathogens. If the soils are not clear, if the soils are not healthy, if they are not treated properly, then if there is a plant suffering from some sort of disorder or a disease, if we remove the plant, if we after harvesting, the leftover may have these pathogens. They may get into the soil. If the soil is not treated properly for the next crop, for the next generation, and the disease may spread through soil, that is called the soil-borne disease. Example is smut of bajra, tikka disease of groundnut. And these are the examples of soil-borne diseases. Sometimes the pathogen may spread through air, called airborne disease. The pathogens attack via air. Air is the medium through which the pathogen spreads. Example, rust of wheat and blast of rice. And the next one, the last one is the waterborne disease. The water is the agent, it spreads the disease. Example is bacterial blight of rice. It is an example of waterborne disease. And then we should not only protect the crop while it is growing, after harvest also we have to protect the produce, that is grain. How to store grains? It is proper and safe storage of food is very essential, and it ensures their availability throughout the year. If we are not storing the food properly, if it is the grain or the produce is not stored in a proper way, they may get infected by these pests. Not only in the field, they may get infection even after harvest, even during storage also. Storage సరిగా లేదనుకోండి, మాయిశ్చర్ తక్కువ ఉంటే ఈజీగా ఫంగస్ అటాక్ వచ్చేస్తుంది. సో దట్స్ వై వీ షుడ్ ప్రాపర్లీ ట్రీట్ and properly store the grains in the storage houses. Then only it will be available throughout the year for the consumers. The various factors that contribute to the loss can be placed in the following categories like biotic factors and abiotic factors. Biotic factors, as I mentioned now, that is pathogens, pests, insects and fungi, even insects and rodents like squirrels and rats. Rats damage chestayi kada, and even birds, sparrow, crow, pigeon, and some fungi, mites, ticks, bacteria and even virus also. During storage, these are the biotic factors which spoil the grains. And abiotic factors like temperature, if the temperature falls down the room temperature, then these biotic organisms, these biotic factors, they spread well and cause disease to the storage products. Temperature and even humidity, higher degrees, that is 30 to 32 degrees centigrade is a moderate temperature for favorable for storing. It is liable, they make the liable to decay. And the various types of damages caused by the above factors include infestation in insects and degradation in quantity and even the quality, and loss in weight that comes under quantity, and then poor germinability. If the disease, if the grain is not good, that is it lost its potency during storage. What happens if we sow the seeds in the soil? It may not germinate. The germinability, that is called the germinability may be decreased because of improper storage, improper treatment and improper storage. Discoloration of the produce. Discoloration may lead to economic losses. The quality ledu అని చెప్పి మనమే కొనుక్కోం కదా discoloration వల్ల. That is one of the factors. And poor marketability. Marketing తక్కువైపోతుంది. Ultimately, who will get the loss? Ultimately, the farmer faces great loss. Okay, dear children, with this I have finished my concept of crop protection, crop production. We have seen various measures of crop protection in this session, and how to control diseases and how to control spread of diseases, spread of pathogens, and what are the different insects, what are the different pests that attack croplands and how they attack, and what we should do to protect the crop against these attack of these pests, and what they do to the crop. They lessen the germinability, they decreases the germinability, and they decrease the potency, the viability, and they decrease the quality, quantity, and even they cause discoloration. During all these things happen during storage. If the storage conditions are not proper, then the storage produce or the grains or any yield may get damaged. And how the diseases spread? Yes, there are waterborne diseases, there are soil-borne, there are airborne, and even seed-borne diseases are also there. In this session, we have discussed all these things clearly, and if you learn, if you understand well, the concept is very clear and concept is very easy to understand. And read once and practice the things that are covered in the topic. Thank you.